Today I'm going to show you how to make this old school chocolate pudding. Now what makes it old school, you might ask? Well, not only are the ingredients for homemade pudding super simple, but the taste is totally going to take you back to when you were a kid. I think the proof really is in the pudding. I'm going to start with 2¼ cups of whole milk in a heavy bottom saucepan, and to that I'm going to add ½ cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk this together until it's nice and smooth, and oh my goodness, I almost forgot. One of the most important ingredients, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. You also want to add that into the pot. Man, that was close. Phew! Now we're going to start cooking this over medium heat until it comes to a boil. Whisk it really well so it's nice and smooth. You want to break up all those little lumps. This is going to take several minutes to come to a boil, so we don't need to be super vigilant just yet. So in the meantime, I'm going to take that same measuring cup I used for the milk, and I'm going to separate 2 eggs. I only want the yolks. Now don't throw away those egg whites. You can definitely save them for another recipe, or if it's your thing, you can make an omelet out of them. Let me know in the comments below how you like to use up your egg whites. I would love to know, and I'm sure other people would too. Now this has been cooking for several minutes. It hasn't reached a boil yet, but it's getting there. You want to whisk it now and then to make sure everything stays nice and smooth, and it's only when it comes to a boil that it will start to thicken. That'll take a total of 12 to 15 minutes. You'll feel it when you're whisking that it'll change in consistency, and once it comes to a boil, lower the heat and let it cook gently for 2 minutes. If you're new to my channel and you're enjoying this video and you haven't yet done so, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll never miss a recipe. And it's totally free, so why not? Alright, now we're going to take this off the heat, and now we have to add in our egg yolks, but we can't just dump them in. We have to temper them first, and that's just a fancy word for taking a little bit of this hot mixture and adding it slowly to the egg yolks. What we're doing here is raising the temperature of those yolks so that when we add it into the pot, they don't turn to scrambled eggs. Add enough of that hot mixture to the yolks until you have about ½ cup or so. You don't need too much. Then return the pot to the stove, and now you can dump those yolks in. Now bring this back to a gentle boil and let it cook for another minute. This is a very standard procedure for making this type of pudding, and if you want to see some other pudding recipes on this channel, I've linked them down in the description. After the last minute of cooking, now take it off the heat, and we're going to add 20 grams of unsalted butter. That's about 1½ tablespoons or so, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Now whisk this in until it's nice and smooth, and there's one last thing we have to do to this before it's done, and that is pass it through a strainer. This is going to get rid of any bits of coagulated egg that didn't quite get mixed in, coagulated, however you say that word, because let's face it, nobody likes chunky pudding. This is going to give you the smooth, silky pudding you're after. Then you can smooth the top and cover it with plastic so it's actually touching the surface. That's going to prevent a skin from forming, because nobody likes a skinny pudding either. Chill it for about 2 to 3 hours before you serve it, because it'll taste better that way. And this is what it looks like after it's chilled. The taste and texture of this pudding is perfect. I like to keep things simple by just adding a little dollop of whipped cream on top. And my kitchen was super hot today, so that's why that whipped cream is already melting. But that's okay, because it almost tasted kind of better. I really hope you give this pudding recipe a try, and if you do, please let me know in the comments how it worked out for you. Now, I think you should go make some for your favorite person, because it's probably going to make their day.